G'day guys, welcome to another video on My Blue Heaven. As you can probably already guess, I'm here to talk about the 2025 AFL fixture in regards to my football club, that is the Blue Baggers. It was released yesterday, so I'm sure most of you have already had a good look at it. Some of you mightn't care at all. This might be a particularly long video, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't generally do these. I'm a little bit sort of in the camp of I like to fly by the seat of my pants. The fixture comes out, look at the first 3 or 4 games. If I can go, I can go. I don't try and plan my schedule around the fixture. If I'm not in the mood to go to the football, I just want to watch it at home, I do that. Generally, I like to go, particularly when the games are at the MCG Marvel Stadium, and sometimes, and I haven't done it for a while, I will go to an interstate game and just having a quick look over this fixture. And I've just got the fixture in front of me here in a pen, so I haven't done a lot of thinking about it. I do see that we've got 3 games in Adelaide this year at the Adelaide Oval, and one of those is the Gather Round. I certainly won't be going to that. But maybe an interstate trip for the first time, I reckon, in about 3 or 4 years for me, could be on the cards to the City of Churches. I like going to Adelaide. What I want to do with this video is, and I do feel a little bit like Sandra Sully with the late news, because a lot's already been said and a lot of people reckon we've got a favourable fixture. I'm talking about Carlton. And maybe we do, maybe we don't, who knows. But this is a type of prediction video based on our fixture, how I'm feeling in mid-November, with a lot of water to pass under the bridge before we face Richmond on Thursday the 13th of March, on a Thursday night at the MCG. Who knows what will transpire between now and then. Hopefully a healthy list, and hopefully a productive pre-season, and better pre-season form than we had last year. Although how much you read into how well the teams track over the pre-season, but I think the big one will be having a pretty healthy list going into the first part of the season. So I'm going to go through every game. It's one of those types of videos that might go for a long time. If you want to switch off now. If you want to put it on and drift off to sleep and use it as a sleeping pill, by all means. And as I said, this is just how I'm feeling now about us in regards to the teams we face over the course of the year. And Michael Voss has always said, he said it since the day he started at our football club, particularly after the 2022 season, where we didn't play finals, that we need to be a better home and away team, a more consistent home and away team. We scraped into the finals this year. We came with a late rush in 2023 and ran out of steam in that year, made a prelim, but we just ran out of steam. So how many more times can he keep repeating the same thing? I'm sure he'll mention it again, that we need to be a better home and away team. So let's have a look at it. I'll just go through each game, win or a loss, and we'll add them up at the end of the 23 games that we'll play in 2025. And you might also get a bit of an indication, if you are not a Carlton fan and you come to this channel, how I feel about your football club. And I'm genuinely pretty fair in regards to the teams we play. This is not a preview. I'm not previewing. I'm just making a prediction based on how I'm feeling at the moment. And this could change. Obviously it will change. Who knows how it will pan out. But it'll be an interesting exercise to come to the end of round 24 next year and have a look at how close I got, because it will be on the record. So we kick it off against Richmond. I'm kind of glad that there's no opening round, or whatever they call it, for us this year. I know we had a great win against the Brisbane Lions at the Gabba, but I'm kind of glad we're starting the season against Richmond in round 1. It's just really disappointing that these two teams haven't been strong at the same time, really strong at the same time, together since this fixture really started against Tigers. It's a Thursday night game. I'm not a huge Thursday night fan. I don't mind watching the games on TV because it gives you something to look forward to, but actually going to the games, I'm sort of, like I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. This is an away game, so I'm just sort of thinking now I probably won't even go to this game, even though it kicks off the season. There'll be a lot of excitement. But Richmond are poor. They're really poor. I mean, their supporters would be genuinely sort of buoyed by the fact that they're going down the really long sort of reboot mould, and they're going to have a stack of new exciting talent, probably debut in round one against us. We'll have to wait and see. Draft coming up, which players they do take. We've got pick number 3 as well, so maybe they'll debut in that game, which will be interesting. But Thursday night, packed-ish house, probably mid-80,000s. I'm expecting a pretty comfortable win against Richmond. They might challenge us at particular times. They'll be full of enthusiasm. But I think it will be a fairly easy win for us to kick off the season. We go into round 2, and this is just a wowee game, and I love the fact that it's really early in the year. In fact, I would have loved if we kicked off the season against the Hawthorn Football Club, given the demolition job they did on us late in the year, which made me look a bit like a fool, and the egg situation. So this game for me means a lot. It's a Thursday night, another Thursday night game at the MCG. It's a home game for us. And I'm probably going to do the silly thing again and predict the win, although I really rate Hawthorn. They've recruited really well. Tom Barras, Josh Battle down back, crack midfield, good, dangerous small forwards who trouble us. A lot of variety in there, but I don't know. Right here, I'm feeling like we can get one back on them to kick off our season with 2 wins, which would be great. And I feel like that is going to be a huge game. Big crowd, and one game I'd really want to get to experience that atmosphere. Great team to watch, the Hawthorn Football Club, but I'm penciling in a win for us. We're in the round 3 against the Western Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium. Interesting one. This is a Friday night game, which is a blockbuster game in terms of time slots. We've started off the year with some prime time. Some real prime time. 7:40 start at Marvel Stadium. Don't like Marvel. Well, depends who we play at Marvel. The Bulldogs, I don't know. The Bulldogs, to me, are a Marvel team, like a Marvel Stadium team. It's in their DNA, and I know we've beaten them there in the past. And this has got really nothing to do with Matty Kennedy, although he'll be really keen. I'm just going to say, I feel like we're going to lose this game, even though it's a home game for us. Generally, it's a Western Bulldogs home game at Marvel Stadium. I just think they've got the wood on us there at Marvel. Got a lot of weapons, particularly up forward, and still a very good midfield, although Bailey Smith has left the club, but he hadn't played them for over 12 months anyway, and I think they'll be able to cover that loss. And yeah, I'd be really disappointed if I'm predicting we lose this game. I will be disappointed, but it's one of those ones where I just can't predict us to be winning that game right here, right now in mid-November. We then go on to arch rivals Collingwood at the MCG. It's an away game for us. Another Thursday night game. That's 3 out of the first 4 games on a Thursday night. I don't know about playing Collingwood on a Thursday night. I would have preferred a Friday or a Saturday night or even a Sunday afternoon. Dan Houston, Perryman. I'm not a huge Perryman fan. I think he's a little bit overrated, although Collingwood are really good at getting these types of players into their football club, like a Patrick Lipinski, for example, and just making them really, really good role players who have an impact. And obviously Dan Houston's just a top quality player. They'll get a lot of players back. A lot of this is about health. And I think a full-strength Collingwood with a home crowd behind them are going to be really, really hard to beat. And right here, right now, if their older players are sort of in reasonable nick, I feel like they're going to have the edge on us. I really do. and that will be 2 losses in a row, round 4 against the Pies at the MCG. So let's go into round 5. I think we'll rebound against the West Coast Eagles. That's not a huge call. It's at the Adelaide Oval. Gather round. Second time that we've played an interstate team from Western Australia at the Gather round. It was a great game against Fremantle. Great weather at the Adelaide Oval. We got the job done. It was a close game. I don't think the West Coast Eagles are anywhere near the Fremantle Football Club, although they have recruited okay, and you expect them to be a little bit better under a new coach with a new system in Andrew McQualter. There's the Matt Owies impact as well, or influence, factor, whatever you like to call it. Liam Baker's there, little hard nut, real energiser. Jack Graham, Harley Reid, love watching him play, but just to feel like we're going to be too strong in that game. So that's a win for us in round 5 against the West Coast Eagles. And then we go to the Friday night, second time that we've played. It's the second or third time now that we've played the Kangaroos on Good Friday. I think that's penciled in for a period of time now. The Kangaroos love the fact that we bring a crowd to this game. Although they should be showing some improvement, North Melbourne, I am genuinely worried for them still. I still feel like that is a really, really ordinary list, although they've got some really good young players. They're really thin in particular parts of the ground. And I worry for them. I feel like they can take us up to us because that's what North Melbourne do. But yeah, I'll pencil a win in for us. So it's 2 in a row in round 6 against North Melbourne. And obviously there's the Zach Fisher factor as well, who left our football club and went across to the Kangaroos and had a reasonable season with them in 2024. We then go back, that's on a Friday night, another Friday night game, obviously, or Friday late, a twilight game, I think, the Good Friday, 3:20. Let's go to the following week. So we get a big break before we take on the Cats in round 7. It's about a 9-day break. It's a Sunday afternoon game at the MCG. I know that Geelong, I read somewhere during the week, guys, that Geelong want Carlton and Collingwood to travel down and play at GMHBA Stadium. That doesn't worry me. When we played there a few years back, I actually quite enjoyed the experience to go down to the Cattery, although it has changed somewhat now. It's all enclosed by stands. When we played there the last time, which wasn't that long ago, I think it was under Brendan Bolton, they still had the terraces and you were able to stand, and it just had a great feel about it. So I'm not, I don't like the prospect of travelling down to GMHBA Stadium. I like playing Geelong at the MCG. It's always a cracking contest against Geelong. They'll be strengthened if Bailey Smith is fit and firing. No Tom Hawkins now, but he was on his last legs. He hadn't really performed against us, particularly against Jacob Wiedering. It's more that Jeremy Cameron and Patrick Dangerfield. I still feel like Geelong, although they can just bring players through, Ollie Dempsey and some of their players that they pick up from other clubs, I still feel like they're really reliant on Cameron and Dangerfield when he's at his best. So it probably comes down to that for me. Jack Martin will be interesting. Bailey Smith's a top quality player if he's fit and firing. I'm actually going to go a win. I rarely pick us against Geelong. I rarely pick us. And I know this game's early in the year, but we're coming off 2 wins, or predicting 2 wins. I'm going to pick an early win in the year against the Geelong Football Club at the MCG. Should be a cracking contest. We then travel to the House of Pain for us, although we did win there this year against Port Adelaide. We face one of the more interesting prospects this year for me is the Adelaide Crows. Is it the last chance for Matthew Nicks to get this team to play finals football? They always start the season really strongly, so we get them probably when they're going to be playing really well and full of energy at the Adelaide Oval on a Saturday. So this is the one I'm probably thinking about going to, doing a bit of a road trip because it's on a Saturday at 3:45. I'm a little bit more confident now that with our last 2 trips to Adelaide have been wins. Gather round against Fremantle, then into Port Adelaide, and the way we did it against Port Adelaide. But Adelaide a kind of quality at home, so I don't necessarily trust us on the road at the Adelaide Oval yet. So I'm going to pencil that in for a loss against the Crows. We then come back to, I think, is the nemesis for us, which is the St Kilda Football Club. But we get them on a Friday night at the MCG, not at Marvel Stadium. I think it's like when it's at Marvel, it's 50-50. And I know it's to and fro, but they always just trouble us. I can't remember the last time we played them at the MCG. I think it was when David T took over. And Harry kicked that big goal on the run from about 55 out, and we beat them on that occasion. Paddy Dow, Jack Carroll's gone across there. Liam Stocker has been hanging around at the St Kilda Football Club for a period of time now. Stephen Silvani absolutely hates the Carlton Football Club. Ross Lyon hates the Carlton Football Club. They'll try and have them fired up, but I like the fact that this is, although an away game for us, I still think we'll outnumber the Saints supporters there, and I'm penciling in that for a win against the Saints. We then go to the SCG against the Swans, and I'm just going to say it now. Although their form at the SCG probably hasn't been as great for Sydney, we just never really play well there or win there. And I'm not even going to try and mount a case in November for us to beat the Swans at the SCG unless they're going like a busted arsehole. So there's a loss at the SCG in round 10. We then come back to Marvel Stadium, like the fact that we don't have to play at that crap ground at the NG Stadium. Is that what it's called now? NG Stadium at GWS Giants. They'll be interesting this year. They've lost a few players. The big fellow up forward in Hogan has done a number on us. They're a good team, really good team. We're playing at Marvel. They could beat us, but I'm going a win on a Saturday afternoon at Marvel Stadium at 12:35. Jesus, that's an early start. I think I read somewhere, and here's Sandra Sully with the late news again. I think I read somewhere that that's a double header at Marvel Stadium on that same day. So we have to clear the stadium, and there's another game on at 7 o'clock that night. I might be wrong. Anyway, we then have a rest, and then it's round 13 against the Essendon Football Club. Now, I do believe we play them twice. Yeah, we play them again in round 24. This one is a home game at the MCG, and we're beating Essendon. We're beating them. We're better than Essendon. We're beating them. I don't necessarily fear for Essendon like I have done in the past. I just think they're sort of underperforming, and unless there's a few players from there that really just jump, like Nate Caddy, and I just can't see them getting the job done against us. So there's a win at the MCG in round 13. We then face North Melbourne again. This time at the MCG. That's an interesting one. 1:20 on a Saturday. Great little time slot against the Kangaroos. Probably a really poor crowd, if I'm perfectly honest. And we're winning that game. I think I'd prefer any chance North Melbourne have, I think, of winning a game against us will be at Marvel Stadium. They're not beating us at the MCG. We then face the Pies again in round 17. Now, let's have a look. I said we'd lose against them in round 4, but we faced them in round 17. This time at home, and it's to be confirmed what the time slot will be and what day it will be. I'm going to win. I don't think they'll beat us twice like they did in 2024. So I think there'll be a lot of pressure on this game if they beat us early on in the year, and it'll be 3 in a row. And you know what it's like when you face Collingwood and one team appears to have the edge or the wood on the other. So there'll be a lot of pressure, and they're always fucking close. Always close against Collingwood. So it'll be a little bit of sweaty butt crack time. But I think we'll win that game. So I'm predicting a win in round 17 against the Pies. Then we don't travel to Queensland this year, to the Gabba, which I'm happy with, or to the Gold Coast. And we get the reigning premiers. Wonder how they'll be travelling in round 18 of 2025. Will they have a strong defence of their premiership? No Danaher. So how do they structure that up? Who comes through for them? Yeah, I'm not quite sure, really. Just on the Collingwood, I'll go back to Collingwood. Tim Memory's the other guy that they've picked up as well, who's been a player that's caused us plenty of headaches over the course of his time, particularly when he played at St Kilda. So that will be an interesting one to see whether he has a good year for the Pies. Anyway, Brisbane Lions at Marvel. Yet to be confirmed what time. Reigning premiers. I'm giving us a win. I'm giving us a win against the reigning premiers at Marvel Stadium. They do play well there. Brisbane. But not having that big bulking forward who can just turn a game. Yeah. We don't play Melbourne until round 19. This will be at the MCG. It is a home game for us. And I'm just going to say it straight out. I'm unsure about Melbourne. I really am. It's probably more along the lines that they won't play finals next year. There's a lot of, I suppose, uncertainty about them. And I reckon by round 19, they're either really going particularly well, going poorly, and are out of it. So I'm going to go a win against the D's. I think our form against them over the last couple of years have been really strong. Even the games have been close. We seem to match up pretty well on them, particularly through the midfield. Then we get Hawthorn again. This is an away game, this time at the MCG, and it's round 20, yet to be confirmed. Because I think we'll get them early in the year, I'm going to balance it up here because I think they're a fucking good side. I really do. A really good side. And I'm predicting we're coming off some. Oh, actually, I missed a fucking game here. Round 16 against Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval. Oh, sorry. I've just gone back to round 16. For some reason, I skipped that. Maybe I'll go to that game. This one is yet to be confirmed as well. We're beating Port Adelaide again. I kind of fear for them as well. I kind of fear for Port Adelaide as well. So, yeah, we're on a bit of a winning streak here, guys. So when we face Hawthorn at the MCG, we are going okay. So I've really fucked this up. For some reason, I have skipped a few games. We play the West Coast Eagles in round 14 after the Bombers game. So I'll go back to that. I'll go back to the round 14 game at Optus Stadium. So it's a road trip. It's on a Sunday at 4:30. Tricky. Kind of tricky. Feel like it's kind of tricky depending on how they are going, but we're winning that. Okay, we finally get back to the returner game against Hawthorn late in the year. To balance this up, because I rate them so highly, we're dropping that one against Hawthorn in round 20. Our away game this time. We then go to Optus Stadium, and we're getting beaten by Fremantle at Optus. Shy Bolton is a jet. To me, Fremantle are the team who I think if they can get it right, are the team that could really make some inroads this year. But we kind of say that quite a bit about this Fremantle team. And that's a tough game at Optus Stadium late in the year. I'd love to be beating Hawthorn going into that game because that would mean 2 losses in a row. We then get the Gold Coast in round 22. I'm getting this right. So round 22 against the Gold Coast Suns at Marvel Stadium, so we don't travel across there. We're winning that. I don't care. The Rioli factor, I think they'll be better with Rioli. He's such a good player. Such a good player, and the other boy down back, they'll get a lot of run from their back half with Noble as well, and they'll get a lot of improvement. Maybe they'll be up and firing then. Maybe they'll be well on their way to playing their first ever final series in round 22. But regardless, we should be beating the Gold Coast Suns at Marvel Stadium. Port Adelaide stitched us up. No, we beat Port Adelaide, in round 16, according to me. So we will be beating them at Marvel, although that was one of my big predictions this year, guys. We weren't going particularly well, and then I thought Port Adelaide would get the job done against us I didn't think they'd get the job done against us. I said they would get the job done against us at Marvel Stadium this year, and they did exactly that. And then we finish off the year against... So I'm saying we'll beat Port Adelaide this time at Marvel, and I'm not picking us against Essendon this year. I'm just not, and that's in round 24, yet to be confirmed. All right. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 wins. No, surely. This is from a man that said that we're in for more pain. Now, 17 wins you would think would be top 4. Let's go again. I'm going to do that again. 1. I mean, this is what it looks like, guys. I should have done this a lot better. Okay. Win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 wins. 17 wins. And what's that make it? 17 wins and 7 losses for the mighty Blue Baggers in 2025. Now, what's significant about that is we've got to beat some quality football teams along the way to make that happen, and also win some games on the road, and expect to lose some games as well, but win one of those games over in Adelaide, win a game on the road in Perth, but also beat the likes of Geelong, which is always difficult, and beat Hawthorn as well, who did a number on us this year, and beat Collingwood, which we haven't done for a while, and the Brisbane Lions. So looking forward to it. Tell me how you're feeling. Will you be going to many games in 2025? Do you like the draw? Anyway, I'll speak to you soon. It's goodbye for now.